Oof, no. Ugh, no. Greetings, everyone. Uh, there's uh, there's been a bit of trouble starting today, so I'm not sure if the rest of this will go well. It won't be much. This would just be a talking stream or chatting stream. Um, so as you read the title, we'll be talking a recap of what about everything that has happened so far, and basically put this down in an archive. Today's date, November 1st, 2022. 2022. Time right now, 9:15 a.m. And we have a new guest, uh, a new cat, I say. And well, you know, it's a black cat. And if you notice a few things happening before, that's because of this cat specifically being on the desk, well, on the table. Let me switch to this model. I hope. Let's see. There we go. So we'll be talking about everything that's happened so far, as I said, along with what's going to happen. But let's see, where do we begin now? I do these without any script. Most of the time, it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not the stream will go well. But lately, hasn't that chance has been lowered. The most recent event that I can note down was for the Halloween streams. Um, they 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 weren't the best, as I can say. Only one out of all of them came out as clear as daylight, as they say, and the rest, well, I have some of the footage saved just so that I can probably use the voice to animate later. And you can see, that it hasn't been going well lately. So if you hear any noise in the background, I already told you who it is. It's it's this cat. I call her Allergy. Don't. Yes, her name is Allergy. And quite convenient that she started sneezing just now, but then she's called Allergy because she isn't as they say, I forgot the word. Uh, yeah, so I was planning on making some more art and this time adding her since basically she arrived October the 10th, I believe. So right after my streams came up, uh, she came by. Along with that, I also have found a during my one of my walks, I found well a skeleton dog. More stuff that I could have added to my art if I were to work on them, work on making more art during the month. Unfortunately, just as I was about to work on a different project, I had some this eruption. It's was a bit a tiny painful, not so much, but enough where it distracted me from clearing my head to focus on what I wanted to draw. And that led to the rest of the month being a full blank on my streams. Among other stuff, a lot of stuff has happened during this month. Well, not this one, last month. A bit of silence for what happened, if you can. Well, mm, my condolences to everyone who has dealt with something uh, recently or long ago. In some ways, I get the feeling that one of the reasons why I'm even here doing this is because of such reason. Um, Turmoil of let's say losing someone, if not dealt well, can be defining factor for the rest of your life. And it has with me. I don't remember how when I started writing my own art, but I remember it's started with actually with tracing a coloring book that I had. If you can guess the coloring book, and well, you're you are a perspective one, aren't you? If I good, I will be able to reward you, but I have made my mistakes and sent the money in a different direction instead of what I was advised to. And I'll have to wait on another a bit longer until I can fully reward you guys. Okay, so and where was I? Yes, if you don't deal with your if you don't deal with the turmoil of losing someone when you get the chance, it will be a defining factor for the rest of your life if you don't acknowledge that in time. If you understand what I'm saying is, it took a while before I acknowledged mine, which led to some problems being done, well, being caused, which led to believing a different, which led to believing in a different path. One that I thought that I had to, that I could live by for them since it's what they used to do, but Yeah, it's what they used to do, but it wasn't work out as well for me, especially since it's I believe it was a pity as well. And when I came to terms with that, it's something that I believe came to an end quite quickly. I've been trying different paths ever since, trying to find something that somewhere where I can fit in as myself or find what myself is. And let's just say that the traditional way of things wasn't exactly helping, even when stepping down to the other side also didn't help. Luckily, I was given a chance to try something that was in my nature, a simple drawing that I made. Yeah, a simple drawing that I made was was a defining factor that changed everything until up till now. If it weren't for that drawing, and if it weren't for that person to have noticed that and given me a chance, everything that you see right now, I don't believe would be here if it weren't for that moment. Though, though the moment was not, though the moment didn't lead to a pleasant end. In fact, they kind of felt like, what's the word? Insulted by my skills. And they gave me a trophy for that, which made it even more insulting. Luckily, it wasn't all bad. I managed to find a new hope on the way while I was attending there for whatever for this little tiny contest that they were having, and in the area I found what I said, a hope, a different path. And this path that I put my hope in, since it's since I felt like going this way would have been better, or and would have probably given me more ideas than going where I was going. In this new path, though at first it seemed like it was a well, let's here's how I used to say it. The advertisement looked better than the place itself. That's that's how much of a wake up it was, which was true. But every time I came back to that place, it came better and better till it actually matched and surpassed what their advertisement looked. Huh. Yeah, yeah, it was a good place. It gave me a chance to try out new things and open up my mind to see the bigger picture. Like, in some ways, it's what I was looking for. Before then, I wasn't thinking of much, just the next day and the next month. Nothing more, but when I came to the school and after a while, it led to me thinking some more. But instead, I'm finding a way to think of every dimension. At first, it was everyone wanted to learn the same thing, down to a few, down to me, solely trying to learn more stuff about um, a new technology that I have never seen before. Though it's they say that it's been there for a while, it was new to me, and it was exactly what I needed. They're great machines, and I probably gave you guys examples at one point. I might even add pictures using this recording sometime, but it was a 3D printer that led to things being the way they are. Once I enjoyed the Transformers, as they say. No, I say I enjoyed the Transformers, which awakened a a hunger to learn to create these machines one day, to just simply creating to create something. And as I said, in a traditional system, it was not possible. I was never given a chance to try that out until it was this new place that gave me a chance to try to create things that I can hold. Which became one of my projects. Um, let's say that during the first year, I was ambitious of what were the possibilities, and thanks to a mentor there, I got a chance to explore my ambition to the point where I was almost an equal to him, though I still had much to learn. But he was gone by the next year, and I had to learn for the rest of those years on my own. I didn't know where to look, so my best efforts were trial and error as a way to learn, which led to a lot of stuff getting broken and sometimes running out of tools as well to fix them. Which that didn't start in the first year, I believe. No, well, actually, it started before that, and no one knew how to use the machines, and therefore led to them being damaged almost instantly. And I can remember what could have probably caused them, or remember when they were first damaged. And there was no fixing that. There was no time, no resources to fix them. If I had to, well, thanks to my mentor helping me, and luckily they were broken. But in the time that he was there, we managed to find many ways to overcome the problems that the 3D printers were having as the way they were. which led to some critical thinking and which stuck by me until well to today. It's just that I haven't been using it as much as I would. Okay. What and then I said he was gone and I had to take care of things on my own. Well, there was someone else, but he yeah he needed to. Well, it was his job to take care of things technology-wise, but not this technology where only one person was a focus. Well, he did use them every now and then. Even there was even some tools that haven't been used or won't get the chance to use yet, unless I get it myself. Well, there was a technology that he used that I haven't used, but he was always busy with other stuff, so I was the one who tried to find a way to make a use out of them. I believe I remember almost every project and order that I tried. I believe if it was, I believe yes, the first one you can never forget the first one. It was trying to create a Pacific Rim figure from a website that basically that it needs to be it wasn't that professional. Well, it was not professional. If you could see it, well, one day I'll show you it. You will see that is what is so unprofessional of it is what you might ask. And professional is that the parts weren't stuck together. And then let's say if I were to print it, I was told that it will most likely fall apart immediately. And here comes the story that I should start with. So I kept asking and asking, how is this a possible solution? Is this another possible solution? Until finally I managed to find the right solution that he thought was valuable. I think, or I'm thinking the words that I've heard, but I'm not sure how to say them myself. Anyways, it was a solution that was able to be done, and they came out as well as they could be at the time. And yeah, it was a proud moment of mine, being able to do something that no one else could. Well, others tried and they succeeded, but I kept at it. Well, they saw one success as enough. Yeah, and in a time where I tried to create this Jaeger, I remember everything that he said, all of the things that could possibly go wrong, and which led to the lessons I learned on how to use the machines, 3D printers. Man, one of my next projects, the one that's more significant to me, well, at the beginning, was creating the Allspark. If you know what that is, well, you're in the right place. because one day we'll be doing more stuff like that if it ever comes around to it. Anyways, I created the Allspark because it was a symbol of creation to me. It was a symbol of creation itself, and I wanted to have that in hand as a reminder to of what I always dreamt about, being able to create stuff and to what I'm capable at that time, to be able to create stuff and be able to hold it in hand. Onwards, I helped others with their own creations. We some had had a chance to have their part of their assignments as homework, and I got a chance to help them out. Help them out. I wasn't all about those machines as well, kind of, but most of the stuff that revolved around them. So much so that if you're wondering where I was, you will probably find me there. Next year, oh yeah, I tried to make a costume using that 3D printers, but I learned that you need quite a lot of time in advance before you, in order to create something such as such as that, which will come into play in the next part. Okay, well, not this one. Later, it will come back later. Um, what else? Oh, oh, just I realized that that's on the emotes. My chat is. I'm not sure how to. There, I should do it. All right. Anyways, where was I? I was talking about how it you need time in advance if you're planning on doing a big project with the 3D 3D printers. Because I tried to make the costume, it was basically 1 week before our Halloween party. I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm talking about. A high school. I'm never gonna give you the name of it, but it's basically breaking immersion, if you call it that. But it is this high school specifically that has led to the creation of Steelworks itself. Because back then, there was no such thing as Steelworks in mind. Yes, and as I was saying, I tried to do a big project 1 week beforehand, and basically it was well, it wasn't a complete disaster, but I could have done better. I could have done better if I had time and was more calculative in my designs as well. Well, right now, none of these any project that I speak of it are not my designs. They're one designs that I found and I made. Um, yeah, and then I think there is another change that came to mind. You see, I get the feeling we'll have to make a part two soon. Luckily, I got to. I think Thursday I won't be here. A I have a mission to do that day, so I won't be here to do a stream. But I'm pretty sure till then I I think I'll be able to do a stream till. I was planning on doing this yesterday, but it didn't felt right. No, it didn't felt right, and I had nothing to do that day as well. Quality control is not something I can handle. If you can see everything else that I've done aside from the really cool stuff that's from my commissioner, most of the stuff that I do myself or at the highest quality that I'm capable of. And if I can't provide that, then it stops me sometimes until I can figure things out. And that's one of the things that uh, change. As everyone knows, most once in a while, change is a scary thing for sure. I was really against it once, which uh, which uh, which is probably one of the reasons why something so simple that led to me coming to this school, because the change that happened was no one else's choice. It was my own. It was my choice to participate or not, and I chose to do so, and came to finding out that I may not like change, but I would rather lead the change than to let the change lead me. So instead of being hesitant of change, I would see about how I could influence the change to my likings. Which is a story that, or this part that I said we should in the beginning, but still not that as organized as I should be. Anyways, that was a side note. Now let's head back to the main note where I was let's see, it was where figuring out that you need time to figure out I needed time in advance to make a project good, and I needed to be more calculating as well in my projects or designs as well, and that the designs that I've been talking about right now are not my own, but ones that I found and decided to make because they seem really cool, and yes, they were really cool at the time, and they seemed like they would be a handful to deal with, and That's something that I liked. Yes, it was something that I liked. Something that was a handful to build. Most of the stuff that I tried at that time were, well, they weren't so they weren't so very good. They were just mm-mm, I'm lost right now. But the designs were mine. Found them, made them because they were cool, and because some of them were also a hassle to make, and I thought it would be fun to try and make them. I believe that's because of another influence I had before I arrived of a little spark that came that oh well that I found actually the fun in actually creating a project that was basically almost out of nothing or out of scrap and being able to and going through all that hard progress just to make a presentation of it. Oh, it was quite fun for me, and I was sad that I only had to to ch two chances to make projects like that. And when I got the chance to make more projects on my own, I believe that led to a spark of happily me being able to happily deal with hard challenges. Most of them, yeah. And so I had those things that I found, and let's say I took requests from some, and I did my own things. Like if I saw something really cool that I wanted to try that day, I would try to find a way to get into what we call the design lab. It's where the machines were held. And and since no one else comes there anymore, well, no one else came by anymore, I had to ask whoever's nearby for access to the room to make my prints. And that's what's happened along with the other stuff that I will write down somewhere else. And led to 2019. Something that I noticed at my time, well, between the time that I would spend making those prints, it's how how the school changed a lot from at the beginning being chaotic to actually being peaceful at times. Everyone doing their own thing, and it was a it was an eye-opening how valuable this school really was. Unfortunately, it would be some time until we got the chance to return, because you know what happened next. The pandemic happened. I was I wasn't worried as much. Well, at first, I thought that I wasn't worried. Mm, I was mostly focused on what what was I going to do in the meantime, because till then I had nothing else to do but to figure out what I was going to print next. And one of the things that I tried to do was cook, I believe, or at least try some recipes again and see if I can do them better this time. One of the main recipes that I always try to find a way to make better was my teriyaki. It's been a while since I last made it. What else? The pandemic happened, and I believe it was around that time where I found Twitch. I was well, I didn't know who was bored at the time. They were probably on whatever social platform they knew. For me, it was mainly YouTube that I knew. And that's where I was one day introduced to the concept of VTubers and the VTubers themselves. One, two, three, four. Yeah, but it was these four, well, this one specifically, that led me to exploring more and seeing the wonders, uh, well, the wonders of what VTubing really is. Well, if anyone knows, it was uh, the AI one that was the first that I saw. And then came the rest that I saw. That along with I'm not sure when I learned VR chat existed. Either the same time everyone else did, or no, it wasn't. It was before I found out about Twitch. Just don't know when. Either way, it was there where I met a few of the originals that I introduced to, and some of them I still speak to from time to time. And if you get a chance to see this and you know what I'm talking about, yes, thank you for being an inspiration again, and my condolences to you. Oh, and then, the strangest thing happened. Let's say different reason why. Well, it was the spark they led down to a domino effect that, well, wasn't exactly a domino effect. It didn't lead to things coming to place. It led by, it just so happened that everything was in place. And it was either my decision to either take it or to forget about it. I never truly said what happened when I first started this. I always believe you guys knew what happened when I saw these turn events. I wonder what you guys would think if you would see me as as the same old, because I myself still see me as the same old despite the knowledge and grasp that I have now, which I would talk about later if I still have it in mind. When I first I'm trying to think, how did this play through? Was it the first summer or was it the second summer? Because there, as you can see, there's a lot of time from 2019 till now. And who knows? And I still don't remember. Well, I don't even remember when I first began. I found it once, but I forget when was it. A year said 2019. At before the summer even started, actually. Then wait. It's coming. Yes, it's yes, like what happened when it began? Mm, when I first began, let's see, I believe I was watching someone, and then I began to do some research. Was it personal research or was it it's so hard to tell, to differentiate each day when almost every day felt the same. Mm, and another quote that I wrote down. I'm not sure if it will help or not. Which one? Hmm. Is this one? Was it an older one? There's so many quotes that I'm trying to see if one of these I wrote down and either around those dates. Trying to see if I can jog my memory. I should have wrote down the dates as well. Okay, so I'm not sure when it happened, but or which summer it was. Because it's um, because in one way it felt like if the way I remember it now, it feels like it's just it's simple, but I guess it's how I should say it. But I'm wondering what happened, what else happened that fills in those gaps. Well, I'm just hesitating to say what really happened. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? So, hmm, what happened that day was influenced by my need to help others and how my school gave me no ideas on how to be able to do that, mixed with the possibilities of being a VTuber could help. I was doing some research on an old question that I had. What does it take to um, run for offices here? And saw how easily it could be done. Unfortunately, it wasn't as simple as it looked. Every, people needed to know you and and trust you. And and since that day, I tried to find a way that would help in finding a way for people to get to know me. But at the same time, more the more research I done, the more I tried, the more I realized that there's much more that I have to do than just simply say so. And it was convenient that when I started streaming, that hey, there was something that I always used to do every summer. Well, not every summer, but something I used to take was a safety class, a water and first aid class. Unfortunately, how can I say that the year I wasn't able to attend, and I really was hoping to do it during the summer, but there was no there was no class available that day. But there was something else available. A a college level political science class for the summer, and they advertised and they said that they will pay you to take those classes. Now, can you connect the dots? Research on what it takes to be what it takes to run for office. People need to get to know you, and I started streaming because of that. But then I realized that I had too much to learn. Well, so much to learn before I can even qualify to even think about being able to run for office. And it just so happens that when I went to go look for my usual classes, there was no such class, but a new one. So I could either go take my old class and one day probably think that the reason why I started was just the reason why I started and simply keep on going without it. Or I could take this class and improve myself knowledgeably and see what I didn't know. And well, it was the money that made it a bit more convincing. The money plus a class on how to use computer. Well, a class on computer science as well, and still get paid a lot of money. Yeah, so that's how it started, but it's not how it fully began. Now, this was how you say before time began. Everything was being set up for the rise of Steelworks. So yeah, so let's see. Mm, that's well, now that was what I was worried about. The reason why I began, and also another thing that I'm worried about is what what is this gap that I am thinking about? There's a gap that is bothering me right now that I'm not sure what it is. But the reason I say it's bothering me because after I took the class, I seriously, it's what I just said is I'm not sure how they come together because when the reason is I did my tiny research and connected the dots before the summer and during the summer I took the class. Then after the summer I took an internship that helped me further understand on how to start a project and how to finish it. But by the time that um, this project was being by the time this project was being done, the Steelworks was already around. I mean, the internship, Steelworks was around, and then ow. So there's a gap somewhere in this timeline that I'm trying to figure out. There are 3 points: the research, the taking action with the class, and then there's the internship that helped me um, understand more on how to run a project. The internship is another story, but I really it doesn't come until it's I say the part where it's because in between the internship and the summer, Steelworks came out, and yeah, Steelworks came out, and then later the internship happened. Hmm, what? Steelworks has been around for 2 years. Next year will be 3. So uh, it's really, it's really burning inside. What? What if I'm saying again and again of what the gap is, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get the answer immediately. So I was doing some research and I about how can someone get into into office, I saw how VTubers can get a lot of attention, and I put two and two together and I tried to do it myself, but I realized that it was a lot more than just wanted to. You have stuff you need to know before you can go down that path. And it was convenient that while I was trying to find a way to start, well, it wasn't VTubing, it was streaming, just streaming. And then I found a convenience that there was a class over the summer that was basically learning political science, and they were paying you to learn. So I took the class. I managed to get an extra class on the computer science, and then for the summer I had that to do. And then, well, I forgot this tiny detail. I work fast. I'm not sure if that's enough. I can work fast, and I believe that it was between when I found when I started streaming till the summer. I was working on the first designs. That we were given a chance to return to school, and I did my research on how I wanted it to look, and I found what I wanted, and I used that as my base, and I had to figure out what design I wanted, what color I wanted. The color, well, as you can see, it's not yellow, it's gold. The reason it's gold is because what let's see, my principal told me that to always go for the gold, and that stuck with me too. Uh, well, for me, simply was that uh, no matter no matter what you're doing, to always go for the best of what you can do, and that stuck me till the day I decided to pick what color I wanted my character to be, and so I went with this. This is not the first design, it's just the outcomes of me figure out the color. Also, I like the color blue, so I decided, you know what, I will make the eyes blue as a way to keep something for myself. And then I believe I spent the summer. I believe not, it wasn't summer. I believe it was. I could use the rest of the weeks to find how I wanted it to look. And while I was doing that, I also found a bunch of pictures of jets as well. Shit, I was gonna say what my out mode was, but let's just say I found a bunch of pictures and then I Frankenstein a an out mode. I showed it once. If you go to my Twitter and look back, I'm sure you'll find it. But it's not the final design. It's just something that, well, it was the first design after coloring it again, again, and again till that thing was there. And then after that, I remade it. Well, I guess I've been given the answers already. Guess people really want to know that, and the answers were there. And so I was, I believe I spent the summer, every now when I was free, trying to find how I wanted the design, or maybe not. Maybe not. I believe I got something during the I had something before the summer started, and then I found the class for the summer. Then when I came back is when I began to work on it some more. Hmm. Yeah. Nope, I don't think there. I don't believe there was a gap. Or maybe there is, and it's being, oh, scattered in something. Because the internship that I'm talking about, I took it when I was a senior, which was this year, and I talking about a time where I'm talking about a time way before that. So there is a gap there that I'm not sure how to connect. Like that has been a summer. I finished that, and what they take a whole other year until the internships was even introduced. This is be some recap when I decide to hear it later. You know, okay, so maybe I should start moving on. Yeah, it's quite a doozy here because starting to confuse myself and probably others at this point, whether it's safe to listen to this on on this part. So let's try to move on. I finished. I finished the Yeah, I finished the class with a C. Not the best, but it was a start. Um, I took an internship class, but during that time of the internship, it was during my senior year. I came back from the summer. Okay, maybe what if we push things forward a bit? Yes, maybe if we did that, maybe I started watching Twitch, and it wasn't until a year later when I started to take it seriously when I found that info. And instead, mm, or maybe it's just that I took a big leap or big break uh, during 2020. Nothing else was going on, or a lot of stuff was going on. But for me, I no, but this doesn't feel right. I feel like I did something. After all, I did 22. Pretty sure it's maybe maybe I'm thinking too hard. Everything that I just said is connected. It's just that I did a lot of stuff during time that doesn't fit into what I'm trying to talk about. And so it feels like a big gap when reality is it really isn't just me skipping parts. You know, so when it was my senior's time, there was there was a final project that I tried to do. Um, I found, well, the previous Halloween parties that we had were, um, well, the first one was good, but after that one, it hasn't been the same. And for my final project, I really wanted to make something that fits to the that fits with the event. And this time I wasn't going to start the week beforehand, as I mentioned before. So this time, when I came back, I immediately had plans to start my final project, 3D, a 3D project. I remember a few years before, I found this chandelier that was basically for Halloween. I was looking for Halloween stuff, and one of those stuff was a chandelier. Yeah. If you're wondering what it is, I'm likely to say it was the the chandelier of fear. If you find it, it took me a few months to be able to get that thing finished. There was a lot of trial and error, considering that many of the machines were in our I couldn't operate them. Their damages were beyond hardware and or software to the point where the, it needed professional help that I couldn't give. And unfortunately, the funding was going elsewhere, so I had to use what I had to make the machines. Luckily, the one of my previous classes was moved into that room, so I had that class and a second class to, not just one class actually, to use the machines however I wanted. Well, when anytime during that class. Mm, yeah, it was one. It was a. Can I say one of my greatest creations that I made so far. Oh yes, now I remember what happened. I met a an art teacher. Not sure when. If it's either come here, don't chew the cables. Okay. Um, I met an art teacher that inspired me to continue working on my art. Yeah. Yes, I met a teacher to help me with my help me uh, be re-inspired to continue creating my own art, which was in time where where I found where I wanted to become my own VTuber. No, no, oh, sorry. And she helped me out a lot. I believe it was 2020 where I was really working on improving my model. Um, I'm not sure right now. This is simply a recap, and I'ma be. I'll say it later. Not the cable, not the cable. Yes, so she helped me out a lot with creating this model in some of my earlier creations as well. And I, and I also one of the things that I did, if you've seen it, is design my own models as well. One of the things that one of the earlier things that I made were uh, was a little insignia. Mm, well, more like I try to make the face on a make my face printable, and and it was a success. Hmm. Though it was simple, it was still a great victory for me that led to me sorry that led to me finding led me to creating other stuff. Not many, but a few more. They weren't as complicated, but it was something. Or something I could put on my profile if I want to. Anyway, said one thing led to the other. I believe I tried to make. I believe this is one of the first models that you see. I made a Halloween. I made a Christmas one. I used this one for whatever. Nope, I also took breaks a lot in order to get stuff done and simply take a rest. Sometimes it seems that I needed a lot more rest than I thought, or it seems that I couldn't juggle two things at once. Mm, it was the first time I believe it was during the summer, and before that, where I did my streams as constantly as I could to when I took my first break to see um, when will be a good time to stream, and then took another break to work on some stuff. Came back with this stuff that I was working on with. And then I took that internship again, paid one, got some money to help me out, and also I tried to do some earn investing. I tried the easy way first with an app that does it for me, but then it just so happens that that another coincidence happened. One of my teachers got someone who knew about investing to teach us about it, in which I learned a bit more as well. Also, I'll say that for later. It's not important right now. It's just some of the things that I found, learned, and then I took another break. There was a lot of stuff going on at that time that really needed my attention, and I tried to be of some use, but I needed um, I needed to take the break so that what I was doing at the time wouldn't influence how I was streaming. And I believe I came back for a bit after that, after graduation. Then I went to the expo. Yeah. Now that I realize that I'm remembering other details that I'm not saying that actually connects everything. The way I the way I'm well, mostly everything. There's still a bit more gaps, just that the gap is growing smaller as I speak. Now, the reason I'm saying talking about the past is because you need to you need to know the past to know where you are and where you're going. I believe two of the quotes that I wrote down specifically talk about that. Here's one of the quotes that I wrote down. Always remember where you come from. Things that certain people persuade as disadvantages others use to propel them forward, and another, even when you become stronger, never forget about why in the first place. I believe the first one I've I'm not sure someone said it, and then the second one I'm not sure where that one came from. But they provide a useful perspective on uh, how to use the past for what you're doing right now. I mean, for me, there's the past started with because someone was gonna was wasn't here to see everything that's happening right now, and I wanted to take what they influence as a way to keep them alive. But it wasn't something that I could do because it wasn't it wasn't me, basically. It was them. Even though I really tried to figure out a way to do what they used to do, it wasn't something that I would be capable of doing, not in a long time. So instead, I'm just gonna keep on going for them because there's a lot of things that could have been they could have changed if it wasn't for them being gone. So I'm taking the initiative of being that change, so that that way I can always keep them close as I go on. Yeah. So where to next? Okay. I took a break, came back for a bit, I believe. Not sure if I did, but I did went to the expo. If you know about it, the anime expo. Yes, I'm a big fan of them. I mean, it was if it wasn't for them, for anime, I mean, I wouldn't have taken notice of the AI order, which wouldn't have led to the other VTubers to come around, which wouldn't have led to me finding them, which led to what I know mixed what they were doing, to me taking the, the class to help me start where to go on, which led to me to finding other stuff that led to me to find out what it means to have more money than you know what to do with, and then lose it, then try to learn how to plant it, then how to then look for a place, look for another chance to get to earn more money, which led to the internship. And in the internship, it was someone who taught us how to follow through on projects, which led me to find to to be able to continue on with this in a new perspective. And then I met and then when I had a chance to take a much more notable class, I took it to help me further my own knowledge. Oh, yeah,